All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. Monday afternoon, March 10th. Another Giants spring training game, another Giants win. 8-2 today over the Colorado Rockies. We'll be discussing, breaking down the game here for you. First of all, let us thank our sponsor of the show, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, licensed in all of California. Give Chapman Law Group a call, 415-613-9483 for all your legal needs, whether that's a personal injury, documents, evictions, whatever it is, give Chapman Law Group a call and let them know NorCal Sports. All right, guys. Big man here. Okay, guys, take a break. All right, there we go. All right, how's everybody doing on a Monday afternoon? Catching up in California? You guys catching up? You missing that hour yet? Yeah, Mark Graves, Giants using up their wins in the spring training. Yeah, I saw an article in The Athletic just a little bit ago by Grant Brisbee talking about the Giants' wins. And at this pace, they're on a rate. If this was the regular season, they're on a pace for over 125 wins. But he did an article, basically, check it out, on The Athletic, talked about all the years that they played, their spring training record versus their regular season record. Folks, I got to tell you, this 11-3 start means absolutely nothing. It means nothing. Today, the Giants win 8-2. No home runs in the game. Couple of RBIs for Casey Schmidt, his first two at bats. He was two sacrifice flies. The second one, he got robbed of an extra base hit, almost hit a grand slam, hit it to deep right center field. The center fielder for the Rockies, Doyle, I believe it was, Brenton Doyle, made a nice running catch. All the runners tagged and advanced. Schmidt had no plate appearances, 2 RBIs in his first two at-bats, and then third at-bat, I didn't hear that one. I had tuned out of the game for a bit, and then his last at-bat, he got a base hit. He's now hitting 300 on the spring. A lot of guys hitting well on the spring for the Giants. Matos hitting 324. Grant McCray went 2 for 3 today, increasing his spring training average up to 346. His on-base percentage is 452. Matos on-base percentage 324. That's, there is a world, guys, where Grant McCray makes this team over Luis Matos. I don't think that happens. I don't really want to see that happen, but they might want to go with the speed and the left-handed bat of McCray and the power, but I don't know where you would play him. I don't think McCray makes the club because you've already got 2 left-handed outfielders in Yaz and Lee, and then you got Ramos and Matos, which would give you 4. And then, so I could see a world if they decided to put Matos down and bring McCray up, and then that would put Schmidt up and Wisely down to balance the pinch hitting. But I think they go with Matos and Wisely. I think that's how it could go. There still could be a trade that occurs somewhere along the lines. Casey Schmidt is showing himself to be a guy that is worthy to be an everyday player, I think. I think the Giants screwed up personally in signing Chapman to a 6-year deal and blocking a young drafted player who they never gave a shot to, who did well in the minors. If you look up Casey's numbers in the minors, he hit 280 over 4 seasons. 280. Better than Chapman's 240. Better than Tyler Fitzgerald's 265 in his career. Okay. Less strikeouts. Look, I just happen to think Casey's a guy that should be playing every day, whether that's, and I prefer he plays at third base. That's not going to happen with the Giants unless there's an injury to Chapman, and we don't want that. So there's really no place for Schmidt to play. Fitzgerald's going to be the everyday second baseman, and I get that. I'm fine with Fitzgerald being the everyday second baseman, but he's got to cut down on the strikeouts. A lot of people saying, oh, he had an OPS over 800 last year, and he hit I don't know what Fitzgerald hit last year. I want to say it was like 280, 275, 285, whatever. Look, the league's got more tape on him now. They got more to look at. So we'll see. We'll see if Fitzgerald. I don't think he hits. I think Fitzgerald will struggle to hit personally 250 to 260 in that range. I think that's where Fitzgerald falls in if he plays the whole season, because that's what his numbers were in the minors, 265. So we'll see. We'll see. He's never been a big time, hitter for average. So last year, pitchers didn't know him, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm going to pull up the box score here for you. We got a lot of stuff going on today, guys. A lot of football happening, a lot of signings. I don't know what the biggest signing of the day is, but there's been a few. Sam Darnold going to Seattle for 3 years. Justin Fields goes to the Jets. All right, here's the box score from today's game, and I will have that for you momentarily, just pushing a few buttons. There we go. Okay, so box score, McRae, I mentioned 2 for 3, hitting 346. Matos 1 for 4. His average drops a little bit to 324. I'm just talking about the regular guys here. And Carcione 1 for 3, 344. He's hitting pretty good. Huff 1 for 3, hitting 313. Huff had a play at the plate today, had a perfect throw from shallow left center field from shortstop Alcantara, and it was just a couple feet off the ground, maybe 2-3 feet in the air, and Huff dropped it. They had the guy by 10 to 15 feet at the plate, and Huff dropped the ball. Hope that could cost him a job with Stassi, but I doubt it. VR 1 for 4, only hitting 200. He's not going to be on the team. But it's really, I think the last cut comes down to Schmidt and Wisely for the last regular position on the team. Last bench spot goes to Wisely or Schmidt, or it could go Matos, McRae. I got a feeling McRae gets sent down, and I got a feeling Schmidt does too. We'll see where things go. Things seem to have a way of working themselves out when guys just go out and do their job, and they don't complain. They just focus on what their roles are, and hopefully something opens up for Casey, whether it's on this team or another team. I just want to see him play. He's 25, 26 years old. He's paid his dues in the minors. Look, this is his 3rd year that he's going to be up in the big leagues at some point, whether it's with the Giants to start the season or a few weeks or a month into the season. He will be with the big club. So this is his 3rd year. I think he should be playing every day. And, it's a shame that he never got to play his natural position at third base. The guy, look, he hit 2 sacrifice flies. And yeah, it's spring training, and I get it. But that's what you look for. You want situational hitting. You got to make sure you're driving that runner in from third base with less than 2 outs, and Schmidt did it twice today. This is one of the things I've had against Chapman. It's really the only thing I have against Chapman is he has not had a productive career with runners in scoring position. He hits very low, and he's trying too hard to hit the ball too hard somewhere, and he ends up striking out a lot. So, yeah, I agree, Kyle. His talent level is in the majors. Let him play a full season. My goodness, he got 107 plate appearances last year, and I have to listen to people on Twitter tell me, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, baseball. Schmidt stinks. He hit 250 quietly last year. Second half, he did well. Hit up 250, 6 homers, 107 plate appearances. Look, guys, he's got some surprising pop. I really think Casey could hit you 15 to 20 homers a year pretty easily. And I do think he will hit north of 250 if he plays regularly. So, I do think he's a better player than Brett Wisely. But the one thing that Brett Wisely has probably over Schmidt is he can probably do a little better getting 2 to 3 at-bats a week, maybe one start, where Casey's just not built that way. He's not a utility type player. I really do think he's an everyday player. If you just watch him play at Sacramento the last few years and watch him coming up, Giants drafted him in the second round for a reason. I don't understand why it's not like he hasn't proven himself in the spring. 2 years ago, he was the Barney Nugent award winner, which goes to the best player in camp. So that was Casey a couple years ago. So I just think Giants have to make decisions, and you're never going to know what you have in Casey Schmidt if you're just playing him occasionally and spot starting him. That's just not his thing. That's not what you do to a guy like that. You wouldn't do the same thing. Like Matt Chapman would be not a good player at all if he was just playing once or twice a week. Okay. There's certain guys that are cut more for utility roles than others. And you just see it in their talent level. Nothing against Brett Wisely. I just don't think he's a guy that looks like a guy that would be out there for 150 games. So, and George Curry says Schmidt hit well last year, going 9 for 21, raising his average to 252. He definitely should be on the roster and has to prove he's an everyday player. He was drafted high as a second-round guy. Yeah. As a two-way guy. Yeah. He was a closer at San Diego State. His, threw hard in the mid-90s. Got a great arm. Just look at his bio when he was drafted. They compared him to Matt Chapman defensively. So I don't know. I just get fed up that the Giants don't give guys chances. Today, everybody, making judgments on guys that get spot at bats, very sporadic at bats. You can't judge a guy off 1 or 2 games in a row that they look bad. Takes guys a lot of timing. That's why you play every day. So we'll see where this thing goes with the Giants. On the baseball front, told you guys about Garrett Cole the last few days. He's going to have Tommy John surgery now. So I fully expect the Yankees to go after Sandy Alcantara. I really do. And I think it'll cost him Jason Dominguez. And I think the Yankees are not going to mess around. They built the offseason to win a World Series, and they've lost Luis Gil for a while, not the whole season, but probably a couple of months, and they've lost Garrett Cole for the whole season. And Cole won't be ready to pitch probably until, May, June, July of next year. So he's already, lost all of the 25 season, and he's going to miss a good chunk of the 26 season. And if there's some kind of crazy strike in 27 and they don't play, imagine Garrett Cole missing the 25, 26, and 27 season. That would just really suck for a pitcher. I mean, that would be not good, but that's a long ways away. I don't see that happening, but you never know. But I'm in agreement with some of you guys' comments here. Hiroku, Schmidt should be traded like Bart so he can play. He's a third baseman, not a short. Exactly. He's not just a third baseman. He's a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. This is what the Giants just baffles my mind. I understand the leadership of Chapman and why they wanted Chapman. I get it, but it better make a difference in the next 2 years, or it will be a waste, in my opinion. George, Chapman is highly respected around baseball and has credibility until Schmidt does prove consistent. He has had chances he needs to prove consistent. He looked lost at the plate. Yeah, at certain times he did. Yeah, he's got to definitely prove it. And but I think they got to give him a run. Robert, Dan, my advice is to revive your projected wins to 5 more. This team. So if I've got them from 80 to 85 already, 5 more than they had last year, you want me to go up to 90, Robert? I'm not going to 90. We'll see. I agree with this comment here by George. Giants need to trade for Sandy Alcantara. I've been saying this. Time for Buster's balls to drop and demand ownership to get him. Yeah. It puts Giants go out and get Sandy Alcantara. They immediately are a playoff contender. Immediately. And there's no stinking draft picks you got to give up. Just you give up on a couple of your players. Yeah. It's probably going to cost you Harrison. And a player or 2 more. Okay. But and the reason I say it's going to cost you Harrison is because of the value. Harrison has trade value according to the trade machine. And that's updated on a weekly basis. His value's already dropped this spring. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But hold on, I got to check an emails or something, guys. I was just a little bit late here on the show. Do we have travel tickets? Yes. Okay. 1 second here. Very good. Okay. Oh boy. I don't know, guys. I like the fact that what I see with players. Oh, by the way, failed to mention Logan Webb did pitch today. He pitched 4 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits. So about a hit an inning, and gave up 2 runs, 2 earned, struck out 5, gave up 1 long ball. And I believe that was a 2-run shot. No, it was a solo shot. Yeah. For the Rockies, a little bit interesting. The Rockies had Thairo Estrada in the lineup. He went 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts, but he's still hitting .423 this spring. So Estrada's had a good spring for the Rockies. Chris Bryant, he's having a terrible spring, hitting 176. This guy, what a horrible signing that was. That's one good move we can thank Farhan for, is not re-signing Chris Bryant. He's had nothing but injury problems, and what a mess. Chris Bryant. You know where Chris Bryant might actually fare well? He might do decent if he was up in Sacramento. Why do I say that? Because it's warm. And when you have a back problem, you're constantly having to stay stretched out. Colorado is very cold in March, late March, April, early May. It can be cold in Colorado. And it gets cold again in Colorado in September. So Bumgarner needs to be in a place that's warm, really warm, like Sacramento. Not that many warm places in the first month or two of the season. East Coast is cool. I guess Florida might not be too bad. Tampa down there, they're going to be playing at the minor league stadium, so they'll be outdoors. Hutch, am I going to be doing Giant shows with Larry anytime soon? Yeah, Hutch, we'll do some. Larry and I talked recently about doing a couple of shows together. We'll definitely be doing that for sure. Good to see you in here, Hutch. Yep, I agree, Mark. No credit for Mad Bum or Rodon. They should have been traded. Absolutely. Hey, guys, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We're probably the only degenerates doing spring training post games on a regular basis here recently. So call us degenerates for being on here. But look, it's baseball season. It's fun. And I'm down here in Arizona. I believe, weather permitting, I'll be going to Wednesday's Giants game with Mark Graves down in Goodyear, Arizona. Just hop, skip, and a jump down the freeway from me, pretty close to Mark. And they play the Cleveland Guardians on Wednesday afternoon. So we should be able to, hopefully it won't rain that day. We're supposed to get rain Thursday. So I don't know if the Giants are scheduled Thursday. Let me take a look. Thursday's games could get rained out. They also have a possibility. Giants play Texas at Scottsdale Thursday. We'll see if that game gets rained out. Depends. It's supposed to be, I think, 98% chance of rain that day. The last I checked, I'm going to check the weather right now as it's opening up my app here on the Weather Channel daily. Yeah, 97% chance of rain Thursday, 19% Wednesday. So we should be good on Wednesday. But Thursday is going to be a day of rain. I just don't know what time it hits. So we look pretty good. Mark says 7% on Wednesday. Okay. I'm looking at Sun City West up here. It's closest city. It's showing 19%. Maybe down in Goodyear, it's a little different. But yeah, I don't think Fitzgerald should have the position at a lock either, guys. I really don't. I mean, Fitzgerald's got talent, but to me, he shouldn't be just handed the second base job. I know the Giants like his speed, and I like his speed too. I like Fitzgerald. I think, I personally think he's going to have a difficult time. I think pitchers might catch up to him a little bit. And we'll see. We'll see where this thing goes. But, I think it'd be a shame if Casey has to go back to Sacramento. Just, I know he desperately doesn't want to be in Sacramento, you know. That's tough. So yeah, I jokingly asked him, I mean, how would you feel if you got traded to the A's and you had to play in Sacramento for your? He's like, oh man, I think he'd probably rather play, play big league games, but you want a big league stadium, man. You want to have a 40,000 to 50,000 people in the stands. That's what you want to be in the big leagues for, the big crowds and the games, So we'll see how this thing ends up, guys. But I gotta believe. I'm just shocked the Giants haven't made a trade. I do think I got to agree with Marty Lurie. I think a trade's coming somewhere. I don't know where it'll be and who will be involved, but they've got some extra pitching and they've got a little bit of infield depth. Ramos hurt right now. I feel like I haven't heard much of him. Eddie K says, no, Ramos is not hurt anymore. He had an slight oblique. He sat out the first week and a half or so of games. He's playing now. But today was a road game. The Giants don't send a lot of their players, nor do other teams. They don't send most of their regulars on trips that are away. Even though today's game was just down the road. Literally, the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, where they play at Salt River, is 15 minutes from the Giants camp. It's just 15 minutes. It's just hop, skip, and a jump, to get to each other's park. So maybe 20 at the most, with some traffic, but it's just a very short ride. It's the closest stadium the Giants are actually to is. So I thought maybe they would have more regulars play today, but the schedule is the Giants tomorrow are back in Scottsdale against the A's. And then they're in Goodyear on Wednesday, back home Thursday with the Rangers. They'll be against Milwaukee on Friday, which is down in Marysville, which is part of Phoenix, not the greatest part of Phoenix. I might go to that game. That's Milwaukee. Then they're back home this weekend for 2 games against Seattle and the A's again. Wow. They're going to play the A's twice this week, both games being at Scottsdale. That's pretty weird. They didn't play the A's earlier this year? I'm just looking at the schedule. Oh, yeah, they played the A's, their 3rd preseason game in Mesa at the A's Park. So they've got the A's tomorrow and Sunday. I'm sure that game's going to be televised locally. And then they got the White Sox on the 17th out my way. So I'll hit that game. And then they've got 2 games on the 18th, the split squad, where they at home against the Padres and then back against Colorado. Then Wednesday night, another game right in my backyard against the Kansas City Royals. So I'll hit that one. And then it's 2 more games and they're off. They play Cleveland and Arizona at home, and then they're, 2 weeks from last night. So only like 13 more days. They're up in Sacramento and they're out of Arizona. So this thing's going quick, guys. We'll see how it all goes. Dominic Duvall is back, says Robert. Giants need to do Schmidt a solid and trade to a place where he can play every day. If they, I kind of think it could come to that. It sucks that he's a really, really solid third baseman and he's not getting to play that spot. With the spring he's having, he may be opening up some eyes to some other teams, if a third baseman goes down somewhere, maybe somebody calls San Francisco. Doesn't seem like San Francisco calls anybody else. San Francisco doesn't seem to be on the aggressive side of looking to make trades. Telling you, Sandy Alcantara is going to get traded. I can just sense it. And the Giants should be at the front of the line. I don't understand why they don't go after pitching. You didn't go after Burns and Snell. I get it. They wanted 5+ year deals. And, in Burns' case, it was costing you some picks and some international pool money. So I get it. But why not go after somebody who's 2 years left on their contract? This year and next year it's $17 million, and the 27 season's a club option, so you can have them for 3 years. Don't make sense to me. Pitching is what wins you games, and the pitching on this team, it could wear down. It could wear down really quickly. So it's basically pretty much the same pitching staff as last year, except Verlander and Snell's gone, right? So Verlander's in, Snell's out, and then you've got the same guys on the sideline, basically, competing for spots. Roop and Birdsong and Wynn and Black, and it's all the same. And they thought they had a lot of depth last year, and it was awful. So that's where the Giants could get nailed. That's why I'd go out and get me a Sandy Alcantara. Roop will be traded for Luis Arias, you hear. Okay. I don't know where you're hearing that one. That would be interesting. We'll see where this thing goes. All right, guys. Hey, just a quick little post game today. Just wanted to come in here, wrap it up with you guys, kind of talk Giants baseball. Again, I think the last roster spots come down to Brett Wisely and Casey Schmidt. And if you're looking at the outfield, I think it's Matos, McRae. Personally, if I could get value for a Wilmer Flores, if I could get good value, I would trade him. I don't know what the value is at this point. Giants could use a solid left-handed reliever, somebody who's experienced and productive, but I don't know what they're going to do. But guys, we'll be back tonight about 9:30. We got Warriors basketball. They are home tonight to the Portland Trail Blazers. So come back here, NorCal Sports Network, at 9:30 approximately. Tip off tonight, 7 o'clock. They don't start them until about 7:15. They usually go 2 hours, 15-minute games roughly. So come back here at 9:30. We'll talk Warriors basketball. If you're a basketball fan, we'll be back tomorrow night, guys. Ned Coletti will be joining us on the show. 9:30 start, little late start tomorrow night, end of night for our nighttime shows. So for you night owls, Ned Coletti will be on. He was in the Giants camp for a couple of days. So we'll get some insight from Ned on the Giants. So make sure you mark your calendars for tomorrow night. Ned Coletti, former GM of the Dodgers, assistant GM of the Giants. He will be with us for probably an hour, 15 minutes, maybe an hour and a half, okay? Probably right in that ballpark. So 9:30 tomorrow night, and we'll ask him a lot of questions regarding the Giants. We'll also, for you Sharks fans in the audience, we will ask him about the San Jose Sharks and their recent barrage of trades at the trade deadline. So keep it right here, guys. NorCal Sports Network. We got you covered for everything coming and going, whether it's Giants baseball, 49ers football or Golden State Warriors basketball, and we'll get a little bit of Sharks action as well. I think the Warriors are playing the Sacramento Kings on this 7-game homestand, so you Sac fans will want to pop in the night that the Warriors play the Kings, and I'm not sure when is that, guys. Do you know, is that this week? I think it's, this Thursday night, guys, a TNT game. So you're going to want to be on NorCal Sports that night too if you're a basketball fan of the Kings or Warriors. So, but we'll be back tonight, Portland Trailblazers, Golden State Warriors, approximately 9:30. And then tomorrow night, great Ned Coletti will join us at 9:30. So keep it right here, guys. Thanks for watching. Give this show a like if you would. Helps push it out to more people. Also subscribe if you're watching this for the first time or been watching for the 100th time and haven't subscribed for whatever reason. Please subscribe, hit the notifications bell. You'll get notified every time we go live. All right, guys. Thanks so much. See you tonight.